is English Language 3, the first session, Top Notch 3B. Let's go to Unit 6. What's the best career for you? Take the preference inventory to see which field might be good match for you. You see, there are some options here. You should read them, and based on the preferences you have, based on what you're interested in, you should tick the answers. For example, work on experiment in a science laboratory. You are interested in it, you tick it. Or write a song. You are interested in writing a song, you tick the purple one. Manage a department of a lot of business corporation. It means you are interested in working in a company, you tick the third one. Or repair furniture. It means fixing tables and chairs at home. If you are interested in this kind of jobs, you tick this one. So, based on the colors that you can collect, for example, almost all of the answers are in orange, so you understand that you are interested in business. If you are interested in science, almost all of the colors in green, you can understand that you are interested in science. If almost all of the colors that you collected are in blue, you can understand that you are interested in social works. Or purple, you understand that you are interested in arts. So, first, start reading all the options here. Then, based on your interest, understand that which part is the best for you, and take a photo, send it to me. Which field or fields do you have the most check marks in it? So when you answer this part and select the color, you understand that which one is the best for you. This is the answer for the first one. But were you surprised by your result? You see, you should answer. And what are some jobs or professions in that field? In this part, when you selected, are you, for example, interested in science or art? Then you understand based on the ticks that you collected in this part. Which one is the best job for you? Then you should explain and give example of some of the jobs. For example, if I'm interested in arts, I understand that, for example, I like to participate in plays, sing song, write stories, so I can be a good writer, I can be a good singer or actor. Okay, record your voice, answer to the third question, record your voice and send it to me. So for this part, you should teach them, find which one is best for you, take a photo and send it to me. For this part, answer the third question, explain what was the most important one for you, how do you know, and explain explain it and give some examples in this way, and take and record your voice and send it to me. Thank you very much. Let's go to the first conversation. There is a conversation I'm going to play for you. You listen. After listening, you should read the text for me, so be careful. Then I'm going to explain some of the words which are difficult for you. Listen, please.
Photo story. Read and listen to a conversation about a career choice.
Dr. Miller, I wonder if I could pick your brain?
Sure, Charlotte. What's on your mind?
Well,
Okay. If I could pick your brain, it means, can I ask you a question? Sure, Charlotte. What's on your mind? See, what are you thinking about? What do you want to ask? She wants to know that what is in her mind. Okay.
I always thought I would go to engineering school, but now I'm not so sure anymore.
Well, it's not so unusual for a person your age to change her mind. I must have changed mine 10 times.
Must change mine. When you change your mind, it means decide. For example, you have one decision, then you change it into another decision. Okay, you make one decision, then you change it into another.
Before I settled on medicine.
Before I settle on medicine, settle on something, it means you have the final decision about something. There were some options, you were thinking about them, and then you make this final decision out of many options and alternatives that you have. Let's go.
Decided on something else?
Well, actually, I've developed an interest in the health field, and since you're a doctor,
Are you thinking of medicine?
not specifically, something related that doesn't take that long to study. I know there are some good options, but I'm having trouble making up my mind.
Making up my mind. It means that you are thinking about something, you want to make decision about something after after thinking about the options and the choices available, you want to make decision.
Well, have you given any thought to becoming a physical therapist? It's a great field. You help people, and there's always a job available.
Physical therapy. I should have thought of that. I'll keep that in mind.
I'll keep that in mind. Keep something in your mind. It means that you remember. Keep it in your mind and start thinking about it. Start thinking about it. So we finished this listening part. You read it, record your words, and send it to me. Any question you see, feel free. At ease, be at ease, and ask questions on WhatsApp, Telegram, whatever you can find. Social media is available. Whenever you have time, ask questions. Let's go to this part. You see, I explained some of the words here. You should match the answers in this part. For example, make up one's mind. Or for example, at the beginning, you take a look at here, pick your brain. Pick someone's brain means what? Pick someone. No, I told you to ask question. Let me see. For example, ask someone about something. I'm going to ask you a question. I'm going to ask you a question. So E is the answer. Be quiet. Next one. Speaking. A speaking part. In a speaking part, so do this part. Take a photo and send it to me. Match them. Take a photo and send it to me. Let's go to the speaking part. Have you ever changed your mind about before settling on something? Settling on something, I told you, make the final decision. Have you ever changed your mind before finding a job, before selecting a field of study, before your marriage? You see? Then why did you change your mind? And what was the final result? And select, think about them. If there is any other answer, you can write it here and explain completely why this happened, how did you change it, and what was the final decision. So let's go to the next part. There's a conversation here. Let's listen. Be careful. Almost all of the listening that you're listening in this book, you are going to read them and record your voice and send it to me. Number 220. Listen, please.
Page 64. Conversation model. Exercise A. Read and listen to a conversation about a change in plans.
So what are you doing these days?
Well, I'm in dental school.
No kidding. I thought you had other plans.
That's right. I was going to be an artist, but I changed my mind.
How come?
Well, it's hard to make a living as a painter.
Okay, look at here. Dental school. Dental school, when you want to go to study to be a dentist at university, you go to dental school. Not kidding. It means, aren't you kidding? شوفی که نمی‌کنی, okay? In this way. How come means why. Why did you change? And why did you change your mind? How come? The synonym is mind. Listen this part and read it, record your voice, and send it to me. Thank you very much. Let's go to the grammar part. When you want to express and ask about past intention, something that you wanted to do, past plans, your timetables, dreams that you were working on that, and change them. You see, and you change them. For example, you were thinking about being a doctor, but you change your mind in order to be a sport coach, to be an artist, whatever. Okay, we use past continuous form. Past continuous form, first we have subject, was, and were, going to. And in this form, going to is really important because why we use going to when you're thinking about our dreams, our decisions, you see, we made in the past form. Then we have the base form of them. I was going to get married, but I didn't. You see, it is your plan. I was going to, but I didn't do that. They were going to study art, but they didn't. They were going to study, they were. I was, he was, she was, they were, we were, you were. Okay? So be careful about them. When you want to make question, what comes at the beginning? Was she going to take the course? Where comes at the beginning? Were you going to study with Dr. Milan? In this part. So be careful. Weren't you going to study law? Yes, I was. No, I wasn't. Be careful about to be verb in answer. Where were they going to work? Where, WH, or asking questions. Who was going to teach this class? Who means the person. Who was, we are asking about the person. But when you, also you can use would, the past form of will, plus base form to express plans and intentions that change, but only in noun clause following by these verbs. Thought, believed, said. If we have these verbs in one sentence, for example, she thought she would be a doctor. After thought, we can use would. After thought, we can use would. And for example, this sentence, we always believed they would get married, but they never. Believed, after believed, we can use would. Be careful that after would, we should use the simplest form of the verb, get. The base form of the verb doesn't get ed, es, ing, past participle to for infinitive. So this is the simplest form of the verb without any kind of affix. They said they would pay for their daughter's studies. They would pay, but they didn't. Actually, they didn't. Said, after said, I told you that we can use would if we want to talk about intentions and plans in past time. Okay, look at this part. I'm going to stop smoking. He said that he was going to. He said, simple past. Was going, was past to be. He said that he was going to stop smoking. She said that I was going to apply to law school. Maybe she didn't do that. Okay, for number 2, 3, and 4, you make sentence. Take a photo and send it to me, please. Let's go to vocabulary number 22. There are some options here. You're going to listen and you should repeat them for me. So listen, please. After listening, record your voice and send it to me, please. Number 22.
Page 65. Vocabulary. Reasons for changing plans. Exercise A. Read and listen.
I wanted to be a rock star, but my tastes changed.
I was going to be an artist, but it's hard to make a living as an artist.
I thought I would be a lawyer, but I didn't pass the exam.
I wanted to become a firefighter, but my family talked me out of it.
I was going to marry George, but I changed my mind.
Now listen again.
Okay. We listen to this part. You can listen it again because you can go back and forth. This is the video. And so repeat it. Send me your voice. Let's go to this part. Vocabulary, grammar. You are going to make sentence with would. For example, Laura would be a doctor, but, and you should select one option from the options that you can see in this vocabulary section. For example, Laura thought she would be a doctor, but her family talked her out of it. The family talked with her, so she changed her mind. Okay, complete number 2, 3, and 4. Write sentence and take a pic. Send it to me, please. Let's go to number 23. And there are 4 conversations. You should listen why people change their mind. Okay, you should fill in the blanks. Number 23.
Page 65. Vocabulary. Exercise C. Listen to activate vocabulary. Listen to the conversations. Complete each statement about the decision each person made. Conversation 1.
So what did you want to be when you grew up?
Me? I actually wanted to be a sculptor, and I was one for about 5 years.
Really? So how come you're an architect now?
I guess it was just impossible to make a living.
I can imagine.
Conversation 2.
Weren't you going to marry that American girl? What was her name? Jessica?
You remember. You're amazing.
Who could forget Jessica?
Well, she was lovely.
What made you change your mind?
I never really changed my mind. My parents convinced me not to do it.
Conversation 3.
I always thought you would become a lawyer.
What do you mean?
Well, you love to argue, and you love to win.
To tell you the truth, I really thought I would become a lawyer too. But I couldn't pass the entrance exam. I took it twice.
You're kidding.
Well, there's more to law than arguing and winning.
Conversation 4.
I remember that Romanian skier you were going to marry.
Oh, yes, Andre. He was so nice.
Whatever happened?
When you get older, your tastes just change, I guess. That's why I married Jerome.
Okay, let's go to the next part. In this part, you should write some intentions or plans you had in the past, but you change your mind. For example, for my life, what happened that something happened and you change your life. For your studies, something happened and you change your life. For your career, something happened and you change your life. You can make a conversation also in this part. Take a photo and send it to me, please. And let's go to the grammar part. These are modal and perfect modals. In perfect modals, we use modals to express feelings and beliefs about something that happened in the past, about past actions. For example, you have done something, you feel regretful. I should have studied medicine. First we have subject should, then past participle. I should have studied. Studied is past participle. Studied. This is past participle. I should have studied medicine, but I didn't. So you are regretful. She shouldn't have divorced Sam, but unfortunately she did. She is regretful. When you are talking about possibility of something, maybe, or perhaps something may happen. May have plus might have. Plus past participle. I may have failed the final exam. It was really hard. Perhaps you're not sure about it. I may. After may you should use have, and past participle form of failed. They are regular form. He may not have been able to make a living as a painter. Not, we can use not for negative. Ability to do something or possibility to do something. For example, when you can do something or you couldn't. Okay, possibility or ability to do something. He was the driver. He could have prevent the accident. He could stop it. He could avoid it, but he didn't do that. We use he, could, have, and past participle form of verb prevent, which means stop or avoid. The museum was closed, but she couldn't have known that. Okay, and when you are talking about certainty of something, would have and past participle, you should have gone to Rio, you would have loved it. When you are sure about something, okay? When you're sure that if your friend went to Rio de Janeiro, she would really love it, you use would. It's good they didn't move to Europe, they wouldn't have been happy there. When you're sure that if your friend go to Europe, so you're certain about something, you should use would. For making conclusion, must is the best option. Must have past participle. Beth is not there. She must have gone home early. When you see that whenever Beth is not there, she went home. So you are making conclusion that today she is doing the same thing. She must have past participle form. Must have past participle form. Go, went, gone. Gone is the past participle form. They didn't buy the house. The price must have not been acceptable. Must, you see, the price of the home was too expensive. So you make decision. You have a conclusion because of the amount of price. It was too expensive. They didn't buy it. The price must not have been acceptable. It was not so cheap. Be careful about this part. Let's do the grammatical part. I don't know why she took that job. It, look at here, must have, look at here, this is the verb be. It must have been the only one available. It must have been the only one available. For the next time, do this part, take photo based on the grammatical part of this section, and send it to me, please.